The night was silent. The sky was pitch black with no stars. A cold wind blew from the north. In a small town, Darren received a sudden work call. He was assigned to drive the night bus on Route 309. Its destination, a remote town called Silver Hills. A place he had never heard of before. But without hesitation, he headed straight to the bus depot. When he arrived, something felt off. The place was empty, abandoned, too quiet. The overhead lights flickered and died one by one. Only one bus remained in the garage. An old bus with peeling paint and cracked windows. The route number was missing. There were no signs, no destination listed. But the bus doors slowly opened as he approached. Left with no choice, he stepped inside and took the wheel. The air smelled of rust and dust. The cabin lights flickered, then went dark. He started the engine and a loud grinding noise echoed. The bus roared to life, reluctantly. He pulled out onto the dark highway. Streetlights behind him went out one by one, as if the bus was leaving the world behind. The road grew quieter and darker. Tall trees lined both sides, forming a tunnel of shadows. Fog began to roll in, thick and heavy. Sun Hollow, the forest known for strange tales, loomed ahead. Darren kept driving, though unease crawled under his skin. The radio, which had been off, suddenly turned on. No music. No news. Only static. Then came another sound. Children giggling softly. Faint whispers followed, as if coming from deep within the cabin. Darren tried turning the radio off, but none of the buttons worked. And in the rearview mirror, he felt like he wasn't alone. Even though the bus was supposed to be empty. The fog grew thicker. The trees outside faded into shapeless shadows. The road ahead disappeared into white silence. But Darren kept driving, trying to stay calm. Then something changed inside the bus. A strange noise echoed from the back. The sound of a seat creaking, slowly shifting, followed by complete silence. He glanced at the rearview mirror. Someone was sitting in the back row. A pale figure, perfectly still. But no one had boarded the bus. His heart pounded in his chest. He told himself it was just his imagination. But when he looked again, more seats were now filled. One by one, passengers appeared from nowhere. Their faces were blank, eyes staring forward. Clothes faded and old, like from another era. They didn't move. They didn't speak. They just sat, silently. The air grew colder inside the bus. Each breath turned to white mist. The windows fogged up from the inside. And the aisle seemed longer than before. The cabin lights flickered again. Every time the lights dimmed, more passengers appeared, as if the darkness was letting them in from some other world. The radio came back on. Now it played something new. Weeping. Whispers led beneath the crying. Darren tried to pull over, but the road had vanished into the fog, and the steering wheel no longer responded. It was as if the bus was driving itself. Suddenly, the cabin went completely dark. Only silence remained. And in that suffocating blackness, Darren knew one thing for sure. He was no longer alone. And the things sitting behind him were not the living. They were something else entirely. The bus kept moving through the endless fog. No road signs. No directions. Just white silence all around. Darren had no idea where he was anymore. The GPS was frozen. The dashboard was blank. And the bus wouldn't stop. The passengers sat still. Their faces grew paler. Eyes wide open, yet empty. As if they were waiting for something. Eventually, a town appeared. Faded buildings rose from the fog. A rusty sign barely readable, Silver Hills. The entrance road was cracked, overgrown, forgotten. The houses looked abandoned for decades. Shattered windows. Swinging doors. No lights. No sound. No life. The entire place felt wrong. Like a memory. Not a real town. As if time had died there long ago. Yet somehow, the old bus terminal still stood. Its roof sagging. Its walls stained and broken. But it was still there, waiting. Darren guided the bus toward it, hoping someone, anyone, might be there. But the closer he got, the more it felt like a trap. The bus came to a stop. No one said a word. But every passenger stood up at once. Their movements slow, synchronized, unnatural. They walked down the aisle without sound, and stepped off the bus one by one, heading straight into the fog. Without turning back, they disappeared into the white void, until nothing remained. Darren stayed in the driver's seat, frozen, breathing hard. He tried to restart the bus, but the engine was dead. The lights wouldn't turn on. The silence inside was unbearable. Then, something around him changed. The terminal began to decay. The paint peeled from the walls. The roof began to collapse. Grass broke through the concrete. Rot climbed the wooden beams. As if decades passed in mere seconds. As if the world was erasing itself. And Darren realized a terrifying truth. This place wasn't real anymore. It wasn't even part of the world. It was just what was left of the past. Before sunrise, a highway patrol car passed near Sun Hollow. The fog hadn't fully lifted yet. And deep in the woods, they spotted an old bus. It stood motionless at the side of the road. The engine was off, the door hung open. No signs of life inside. The seats were covered in dust. The air was cold and heavy. And the silence felt unnatural. Not peaceful, but wrong. There was no driver. No passengers. Just a torn logbook and a digital clock on the dash blinking, 2:16 a.m. The investigation that followed raised more questions. Route 309 had been shut down decades ago. Back in 1983, a terrible crash claimed every soul on board. The bus fell into a ravine near Silver Hills. All passengers died instantly. Among them, a mysterious old woman, believed to have caused a panic before the crash. The passengers Darren saw matched the names of those who died in that accident. Every face, every seat, identical to those on record from 42 years ago. But Darren was gone. Vanished without a trace. No footprints. No blood. Not even a fingerprint left behind. Weeks later, reports began to surface. Drivers on foggy nights saw a dimly lit bus on empty roads. Its lights flickered. Its windows fogged. And inside, pale passengers staring blankly ahead. At the wheel, a young man. Expressionless. Lost. As if trapped in an endless route. They say bus 309 never really stopped. It keeps running, even after death. Searching for new passengers. To take them back. To a place that no longer exists.